The Jeep Avenger 4SE. The Jeep Avenger 4SE. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that this is a lot of name for a small car, and you'd be right. The Jeep Avenger 4SE sounds like it should arrive on a flatbed truck wrapped in military tarpaulin, with a team of engineers nervously jogging alongside it. It sounds like a top-secret government program. It sounds like something that would make the ground shake. What actually arrived in my driveway was considerably more compact than all that suggests. It's small, it's white, it's wearing these lovely chunky plastic wheel arch extensions that give it just enough muscle to look like it means business. That a carrier is taking up weightlifting, and I have to say, standing in the driveway looking at it on a bright morning, I found myself smiling, which is not what I expected. Because here's the thing about Jeep. Now Jeep, let's talk about Jeep for a moment, because you know what? This matters. This brand, with serious history behind it, the Winners MG, the original Jeep, helped the Allies win the Second World War. Generals used it, natives used it, it went everywhere, through everything, without complaint. Mountains, rivers, deserts, fields, that all would swallow anything with less determination. That badge on the front carries real weight. And our Jeep has taken that spirit, that go anywhere, do anything, never say die attitude, and package it into something you can park in a standard space at the local shopping centre. If I'm honest, I think that's brilliant, because they haven't made a small car and slipped a Jeep badge on it. They've actually thought about it. They've stuck a secondary electric motor on the rear axle, which means this tiny little angry shoebox is, in fact, a 4-wheel drive. Not the sort of 4-wheel drive that's mostly marketing, real 4-wheel drive, with one motor pulling from the front and the other pushing from the back, in a car roughly the size of a very determined shoebox. I love that. I love that someone in a meeting at Jeep said, right, we're going small, but we're not going soft. And everyone else in the room nodded and went with it. Right, let's talk money, because in Ireland, that conversation is unavoidable. The Avenger 4SE starts at $39,995 for the Uplands trim. Before you reach the smelling salt, let's forget the contest. Is it the brand new, properly spoken drive, plug-in hybrid vehicle with a full manufacturer warranty and a badge that people actually recognize and respond to in the current Irish market. That is not an outrageous ask. If you want more, the Overland comes in at $42,995 and brings extra kit that makes life noticeably more comfortable. And at the top range, the North Face edition sits at $47,995. Yes, that's North Face, the outdoor clothing brand. There's a collaboration, your car has a sponsored trim level. And you know what? I'm completely fine with it. North Face makes here. North Face makes here for people who like to be outdoors and go on adventures. Jeep makes cars for people who like to be outdoors and go on adventure. It's a match that seems to make total sense, and the edition itself looks the part. Subtle badging, nice colour options, and essentially you bought something just a little bit special. For all trim levels, the combined system output is 136 horsepower, front-wheel drive handled by a 1.2-litre turbocharged petrol engine. Rear wheels by an electric motor. 0 to 60 takes around 9 seconds. That puts in the same ballpark as perfectly well-balanced, well-respected family hatchbacks. It's not going to trouble a sports car, but then it's not trying to. It's trying to get you to work on a Monday morning with a smile on your face, and that, it's just a sound. The driving, look, this is where it gets kind of interesting. Because writing the Avenger is genuinely, surprisingly, pleasurably good. There's an awful lot of superlatives in there, I know, but the steering wheel has a nice little weight to it. It feels connected to something, like the car actually talking to you, rather than just vaguely pointing in whatever direction you chose it. The grip is excellent, more than you'd expect, and because you've fitted with a proper multi-link rear suspension, the sort of setup usually found on cars in the next class above, it rides beautifully on Irish roads, even over bog roads and things. Now, we know Irish roads is just somewhere between road and, let's say, abstract art, but they are full of character, shall we say, potholes with ambitions. Surfaces that suggest tarmac was applied by someone working from memory. The Avenger 4FE takes all of this entirely in its stride, and absorbs the bumps, stays settled, never once makes you feel like you're laying into a terrible mistake. On wet roundabouts and in Ireland, all roundabouts are wet roundabouts, because it's Ireland. The extra rear motor traction is quietly brilliant. There's no drama, no fuss, just an assuring sense of grip that makes you feel slightly more compliant than you probably are. I took it down a money car track one afternoon just to see, just because I needed to, just because it was there, and the car seemed to want to. It was fun, more than fun. The rear motor fits in exactly when you need it, the ground clearance is more than adequate, and the whole experience that is feeling rather smooth about the whole thing, which is ultimately what you want from the car. Inside, Jeep has got what I call honest materials. The dashboard is solid, robust, tactile plastic, the sort that will not crack, will not rattle, and will absolutely outlast the rest of the car. It wipes clean with a damp cloth, which if you have children, or a job, or a habit of eating in the car, is a genuine practical advantage rather than a compromise. The seats are comfortable, the driving position is good, and there's enough tech on the center screen to keep you occupied without overwhelming you. It's sensibly laid out, which I appreciate more. I probably should at this stage of life. The gear selector is a button arrangement rather than traditional lever, which takes about 30 seconds to get used to, and then it becomes completely natural. Different, but fine. The boot space is 325 litres. You fit a winch chocolate in there, chocolate knives, and one medium-sized dog with ease. It's not going to win any loads of awards, but as a compact SUV, it's entirely workable. One thing worth noting, on the motorway, there's a little more road noise than you get from some of the rivals. It's not that it's really loud. It can hold a conversation at normal volume without any effort, but it's there. A minor thing, barely worth mentioning, really, but I mention it, so there you are. Look, I came to this slightly unsure. A small Jeep, 4-wheel drive, plug-in hybrid at nearly 40 grand. It sounds like a car trying too many things at once, but it isn't. It's a car that knows exactly what it is. It's a compact, charitable, genuinely capable little machine that makes you feel good every time you get into it. It has Jeep DNA, it has a sense of adventure, that refusal to be ordinary, distilled into something that works brilliantly in everyday life of Irish. Town, country, motorway, looking at it, it does all of it, and does it with a smile. The running costs are reasonable, thanks an electric rear motor handling a good chunk of your short trips. If looks to turn heads, it's just from people wondering what it is, but from people who recognize and think it looks great. Because it does. And the 4-wheel drive system gives you confidence in our unpredictable weather that most cars simply cannot match. Is it perfect? No, nothing is really. Is it likable? Enormously. Is it practical? More than it looks. Is it good value for what you get? Actually, yes. The Jeep Avenger 4XE is a kind of car that makes you glad you live somewhere with seasons, and woods, and rain, because it's made for exactly this. It's made for Ireland, whether Jeep know that or not. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think of these new style reviews. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I'm just experimenting again. But thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe button. And until the next time, I'll see you on the far side. While I'm here, to try to support the channel, many links down below, Patreon, PayPal, even a GoFundMe if you want to give me some money towards my new charity. Whatever you do, thank you. Even if you just watch, even if it's just one ad. Thank you very much. The Lord says, I'll see you on the far side.